Hey Sam, are you done with that scared famous fast forward review?
Come over here, come over here. He gets turned into a Goomba. I have this site up. Man, it sure is nice around here, what with the Scared Famous Fast Forward remaster coming soon. But that reminds me of that day my sister did her best impression of my YouTube comments by asking me when the Scared Famous Fast Forward review was coming, and I had to pretend to research Ariel Pink by going to nondescript website. And I found something a little strange there. Okay, so full disclosure here. When I sat down to gather research and materials for this video, I was confounded to find that this oddity was nowhere to be found online. It's been scrubbed from every website that had it because I guess we care about facts now or something. However, to prove that I'm not crazy, lying, or some bizarre combination of the two, I found one website that still references its existence. This weird Ariel Pink search aggregator from 2013 on a blog spot right down here. This line that says, "Haunted Graffiti, Ariel Pink's musical project, is a planned series of 10 albums. I remember there used to be tables all over Wikipedia that started with this. I've mocked it up. It would say Haunted Graffiti 1 through 8, the albums we knew, and then Haunted Graffiti 9 and 10 would usually be listed as before today mature themes. Sometimes you get a few wacky ones. I remember there was one that said Haunted Graffiti 9 and 10 were Yastudet and Oddity Sodomies 1, and there was another that listed Haunted Graffiti 10 as to be announced. But this table used to be all over the internet. And that got me thinking even back then when I barely fact-checked anything. Where did they get this information that Haunted Graffiti was a planned series of 10 albums? And furthermore, if Haunted Graffiti 8 was worn copy, just what the hell happened to Haunted Graffiti 9? Why did Ariel stop all of a sudden? He hadn't even been signed to a label yet. Now, I don't know about you, Ding Guy, but the first thing that I think of when I hear the words Haunted Graffiti and 9 in rapid succession is the Paw Tracks press page for House Arrest. It's probably the internet's most well-known mention of the Haunted Graffiti 9 project. If you're unfamiliar with the way that Paw Tracks reissued the Haunted Graffiti albums in the 2000s, they started with The Doldrums in 2004, then continued on to reissue Worn Copy in 2005, finally rounding out the line with House Arrest in 2006. This is out of order, but I think it's a very fitting listening order. And man, as a fan, this press page is so goddamn cool. It starts off with this 300 DPI scan of the cover, and I remember for the longest time back in the day, we just didn't have any of those. I remember that there was just this 600 by 600 pixel scan of the cover, and even in 2016 that was all I could really find. I don't know why anyone didn't just scan their cover. I guess I'm part of the problem there, but oh well. Scrolling down the page, we have some period photos of Ariel in house locations, in front of a mirror in a bathroom, I guess to go for the house motif. And then following that, we have this press write-up, and it is so goddamn 2000s tape nostalgia. Just take a listen. Think you've heard enough, Ariel Pink? Well, our favorite omnivorous media junkie from LA still has a few tricks left up his sleeve, like the left-of-center House Arrest. Sure, The Doldrums and Worn Copy had some hits and humdingers on them, but House Arrest never lets up. It's hit after hit after hit. Sorta like if you listen to your friend's boombox mixtape from Top 40 Radio around 1985. Some people might think that sounds like a recipe for disaster, but we say bring on the Doritos. Man, I miss the 2000s. But seriously, that's a really apt write-up. I think that so much of what I love about this album is that it's this incredibly poignant thesis for what Ariel was about back then. It's eclectic, it's bizarre, it's psychedelic. It almost listens like a history course on American rock and roll. It pulls from a little bit of everything, and it really does sound like a mixtape. Not to mention, it really is just hit after hit after hit. The fact that Every Night I Die at Miyagi's and The People I'm Not are on the same album still boggles my mind to this day. Scrolling down, we have the US release date, the track listing, and who to email to beg for promo CDs. I still haven't gotten a response. Back up the page, we have some general points of interest, like that Ariel is touring throughout North America and Europe throughout 2006. This is cool because this was his first real prolonged world tour. It also tells us who's handling promotion and press for which regions, and then it tells you that you can get posters, promo CDs, and stickers. I really want to see one of these someday. I've seen a few promo CDs lying around, but if anyone got a sticker or a poster, please send them to me. That sounds so cool. And then it tells you to think of house arrest as an appetizer for, what's this? The brand new Ariel Pink record set for early summer release. Oh, and then up here they talk about that old Write Your Own Ariel Pink song contest. Wait, what? Write Your Own Ariel Pink song contest? Write Your Own Ariel Pink song contest? What the fuck? I've never heard of a Write Your Own Ariel Pink song contest. God damn it! You know, I came to this page looking to solve one Ariel Pink mystery, and now we've got... Exactly! Well, I guess I better Google this shit now. And you know, I actually found a few results which surprised me, because I remember as a kid I would always look at this press page and think, huh, what's that contest? That sounds interesting, and not knowing anything about it, but I guess I never Googled it. The first few results here are interviews with Ariel where he talks about it, other than the press page itself. And then the next results after the first 5 or so are all just scraping it with the same text. But there are some interesting things we can extrapolate from these interviews. Firstly, there's this interview with The Guardian where he says he makes totem pole music, which I find unreasonably funny. And towards the end of it, after he talks about getting signed to Animal Collective's label and his songwriting process, someone asks him, hey, whatever became of that Write Your Own Ariel Pink song contest? And he says that it was born out of complete writer's block, and that so far there's been no gems, but he's been waiting with an open email. The next mention of the contest I could find comes from a This Week in Rock article on a website called Our Town that I had never heard of, but apparently it's the local paper for the Upper East Side, so I better brush the fuck up. This article talks about Ariel Pink's bizarre touring and how House Arrest was actually released in 2002. And then, interestingly, it says that in the spirit of the Write Your Own Ariel Pink song contest, each date is going to be bisected, as the contest will be used as scouting for bands to headline for and play with Ariel. And finally, here we have this Stereogum article / interview that mentions it. And this one at first caught me off guard, because they talk about MP3s from a new album, and I was like, oh my god, are these Han Graffiti 9 MP3s? And then it talked about This Night Has Opened My Eyes, and I was like, oh my god, was This Night Has Opened My Eyes written for Han Graffiti 9? But no, they're two separate things, unfortunately. In this article, Ariel talks about his recording process and how it shows he's constantly getting booed and how people don't like his music. And then they go on to say stuff like, the future seems bright for Ariel, whatever shape that may choose, and how he's looking for a proper label and a proper way to release music. And then, right down here it says, until then, Haunted Graffiti is anything goes. There's even a Write Your Own Ariel Pink song contest. And there's even a link! Huh. You know, it strikes me that this might not still be Ariel Pink's website. So, I loaded up the Wayback Machine, and there was nothing. This is a 2006 archive, right around when that article was published, but for some reason it has 2008 news, and every archive going back of the style is stuck on that 2008 news. 2008 seems to be where it switched over to another style, so maybe this is some sort of weird web formatting glitch that someone in the comments can explain to me, but unfortunately there was nothing interesting to be seen here. Well, shit, we're at another dead end. Google has no more results for me that aren't just text scraped from websites we've already seen, and no matter where I look on the archive of Ariel's sites, there's no mention of the contest anywhere. And believe me, I was there for a good minute or two looking through all the archives I cared to find. But it seems like the way that this contest was held was that you would email Ariel your song lyrics and other music, and if he thought it was good enough, he would write it into his own song, and maybe even ask you to play a show with him when he was in your area. That's pretty cool. I guess we can consider this search a success. Wait, what the fuck were we talking about again? Settle down. I have a confession to make, okay? I don't know a lot about Haunted Graffiti 9. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. I wanted to make this video about it because it was interesting. We didn't know anything. I thought I could find something about it, but no! I don't know anything. We don't know anything. Anyone who tells you otherwise, they're lying too. There, I said it, okay? We don't know anything about Haunted Graffiti. We barely know what songs we're on. No, stop, no! Okay. If it's Haunted Graffiti 9 you want, then here's a fun fact. Did you know that Worn Copy was originally intended as a compilation of two albums, Haunted Graffiti 8 and 9? The first half being Haunted Graffiti 8, called Trepanated Earth, and the second half being called Haunted Graffiti 9, the Foily Foibles EP? That's kinda cool, isn't it? Yeah, I gotta be honest. Other than those 2 points, my search kinda came up dry. I really thought I was gonna find something, anything. Hell, I remembered this webpage that said Ariel Pink's Haunted Graffiti 9 coming winter 2003 and even called it Haunted Graffiti 9, but that just doesn't exist anymore. Maybe I saw it on an archive originally, but I can't find that archive either. Listen, if you want I could tell you about the history of Haunted Graffiti 7, huh? No, wait, hear me out, it's kind of a cool story. Like, for years we just had this holy shit EP around that was obviously unfinished, and on R. Stevie Moore's website it said coming winter 2003 on Bomb Records, right? And eventually one of my friends contacted Bomb and they said that it was going to be released on their sister label Winter Records, but it fell through. That's pretty cool, huh? Okay, yeah, I really have nothing when it comes to Haunted Graffiti 9, but I refuse to let any of you leave empty-handed. That's why I'm going to go over some songs that were recorded post-Worn Copy that would be the biggest contenders for Haunted Graffiti 9, and try to build my own Haunted Graffiti 9 track list. Huh? So what we're going to be doing to build this track list is looking at that small window of time between the final release of Worn Copy in 2003 and Ariel's re-emergence onto the scene in 2008 with a full studio band for the Can't Hear My Eyes single. The first compilation that many would look to from that era would be Duh. In fact, I've seen many fans actually mistake this for Haunted Graffiti 9, but it's not that. Duh is a CD mixdown of Elan, I don't know how the hell you pronounce it, but it's the name Ariel gave to a tape that he would give out to a lot of fans, presumably after Worn Copy was released. Now from this compilation, I think the first 2 tracks to take out would be Little Wig and Lestate, because those songs were remade on Before Today, which would be the technical Haunted Graffiti 9. After that, I'd personally like to pull out This Night Has Opened My Eyes, because Ariel was really proud of that one, Suicide Notes, because that song's so fantastic, Unwritten Law, just because it has that sound of being post-Worn Copy to me, and Born Into a Hospital, because Ariel likes to throw 1 or 2 weird ones onto each album like that. Next up, another one that comes to mind for many people is the I'm Not a Genius EP. Now, since it's only 5 songs, there's not a lot to pull from here, but we can eliminate 2 of them because they were collaborations with John Mouse from the Loverboy era, and I just don't see Ariel putting these on a project that isn't Loverboy. Despite how disorganized his albums may seem, and by all accounts are, the guy made a lot of very clean breaks between his projects, and I just don't see something as distinct as the Loverboy collaborations with Mouse bleeding over into another era. From there, I'd personally pick out See the Girl, because Ariel's released this on everything. I'm sure that if he had another album out, he would totally put this on it. And Be Good to Your Parents, because that's actually one of the few songs that I've had confirmed for me by Ariel that was recorded post-Worn Copy. And finally, we go to Ariel's 2 most well-known tour compilations, Yas Dudette and Oddities Sodomies. From Yas, the last 2 things that I would pull is Nighttime is Great, just because he was developing that song so much and doing collaborations. It really seemed like he meant to put that on something meaningful, if that something were to come around. And Trying to Tell You About Kincaid, because god damn that song is awesome. And god damn it, my fictional album just can't not have. Now some of you may be saying, "Oh Sam, you little shithead, you forgot Hold Your Breath and Wait and Shower Me in Lipstick." But don't worry, I thought about those, I'm just not including them. Because even though Hold Your Breath and Wait was a Japanese exclusive bonus track on Before Today, not like Ariel had any say in that, and Shower Me in Lipstick was eventually remade as Lipstick, I see those two originals just being too wacky, like novelty tracks. Maybe those would have gone EP at some point, but those really don't seem like something that Ariel would put on a full Haunted Graffiti album. Now finally, looking over to Oddity Sodomy's Volume 1, both versions of it, I picked out Dungeon Majesty just because once again Ariel was very proud of it. He kept re-recording it, embellishing, overdubbing. He really liked it. I'm sure he would have put it on here. Safeguards from Home because once again, that song is so goddamn awesome and I can't have my fictional album not have it. And Diary a la Derriere because, I don't know, I just think it's cool. It's this short little song, it would make for a good closer, and it's my album, Mom. I can put what songs I want on it, okay? And here's the track list I came out with. This video has been pretty sit down with Sam and hang out-y, but I'm not gonna make you sit through my process for thinking this up because it was A, uninteresting, and B, boring. I just sat down with a Jazz Spastiks album on, ate some Thai food, and thought about what songs would go good together. And hey, my list is by no means perfect. If you thought up a different, better track list, I'd love to see it posted in the comments. It's fun to sit here all day and think about why Haunted Graffiti 9 never came to be and what it might have looked like if we got it. But in the end, I think there's a much simpler reason we never got it. Ariel just didn't want to release it. I think that after the release of Worn Copy, he was perfectly comfortable ending the Haunted Graffiti series there, and what a fitting end, right? It really feels like this big, epic, climactic finish that the series has been leading up to this whole time, and I could totally see why Ariel would want to cap it there. You know, a year or two ago, I was having a conversation with Ariel on Twitter, and I asked him about the Haunted Graffiti series, and he said that if you would have asked him 20 years ago what he would be doing, he'd say making records his whole life. But he didn't ever think that he would be making Haunted Graffiti records his whole life, and it just happened to be his one project that took off out of nowhere. Not to mention, at this time, Ariel was seeing a lot of changes in lifestyle. These early Haunted Graffiti records are very tied to how he was living at the time. He was really living on the fringes, living only on music, and I think that's so much of what Haunted Graffiti is, and I think that once he was really moving up in life, so to speak, he didn't want to make Haunted Graffiti records so much. But hey, just because Ariel wanted to end the series there doesn't mean we can't have a fun day thinking about what could have been, huh? Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed. Have a good day or night or whenever you're listening.